Welcome to Back Yourself, BackChat's new podcast, speaking to business leaders and decision makers. This week on the show, Rebecca Const, founder of Fox and Rabbit, one of Australia's biggest commercial florists. Beck has built this business from the ground up. We talk about the tough times through COVID, managing a business and growth, as well as keeping the passion alive whilst running a business yourself. It's a great episode, one of the best I think we've done. Hope you enjoy. Okay, I'm excited about this one. Back Yourself, BackChat's new business podcast. Beck Const.
Hello.
So are you a Rebecca?
Well,
do you think that was going to be the first question?
what is your name?
That is good. You said that off camera that you're a little bit intimidated. No, well, not by me, but just the situation. But I want to assure you this is a comfortable, safe space. And we're going to talk about something you know a lot about, which is you and your journey, both in business and probably from a personal sort of mindset as well.
Sounds good.
Happy?
Happy.
So to start, I want to ask what you do now. We're going to go back to the start and talk about the journey, but what's your business name?
Okay.
And what do you do?
I have a business called Fox and Rabbit Premium Flowers, and we sell really good flowers.
Yes. All right, that's good. And that's brief and to the point. I like it. So you think about that's what you're doing right now. Let's go back before you're a worker, you're a kid, you're in school. What's life like growing up? And again, using the forward-facing thing, are you as a kid going, oh, I'm going to be a florist / run a business selling flowers?
No, I don't have one of those fantastical, my grandma had this amazing garden and I always wanted to kind of pursue floristry or anything like that.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was academically very average to below average for sure. And I loved, I never thought I was creative. I think that's a big thing that I never thought I'd pursue a creative career because I couldn't draw or paint or write. And so I think that's the framework for what creativity was presented to me at school. So because I still can't do those things.
I was going to say, can you do those things now?
I mean, I like to think I can write a little bit.
You're musical though, aren't you?
Yeah, that's true. Yep. Musical. I did a lot of drama at school. I loved being loud and obnoxious and having attention on myself, which is why I said yes to this. Hey.
Well, it's interesting just like going back and thinking, well, okay, as you're growing up, you know, and again, where you are now, like whether your childhood or how you were brought up or school or people you were with, like lended itself to running a business. You think not, or maybe?
It's so hard to know. I think that I'm very, very fortunate that I've always had a very strong sense of self. I've been very comfortable with who I am and very sure of who I am. And I didn't realise perhaps that was quite uncommon until I've gotten older. So to take a risk on myself wasn't really, like I've always had a lot of self-confidence. So to try something didn't feel scary. I was like, I can do this. And I still feel that way. I still feel very like if I put my mind to something, I will do it. I will achieve what, so like it's a good sprinkling of, I don't know, perhaps delusion as well of just like, not taking on board negative feedback, but also I was really lucky that there wasn't a lot of negative feedback. Very well supported, and certainly not put down and told that I couldn't do this or that, whether it's starting a business or whether it's I don't know, having a go at, well, I was going to say sport, but then I'm like, you might ask me about sport. There's nothing to tell.
Tell about your greatest sporting achievement.
Well, actually in year 4, I think, I was selected as the cricket captain.
Oh, yes.
But here's the thing.
You're
To become
kidding.
the cricket captain, it was a written test. So I just watched heaps of cricket with my dad and asked a million questions, aced the test, and then became the captain.
That is incredible.
I know, but it's terrible. I feel so bad for all the people that were actually good at
Cricketers?
sport.
The cricketers?
Yeah, exactly, because I'm shocking at most sports, particularly. Anyway, sorry, I
No,
digress.
it's good. I threw you off there. But that's a brilliant story.
But then I picked all my friends to be on my team
Yeah,
who were
so-
like me, mostly young women, but small frame, no coordination.
Sporting talent.
So there was definitely an A team and a B team.
Yeah.
I remember the teacher was like, you should probably put some boys on the team.
And you're like,
I
I'm
was
the
like,
captain.
Yeah, I do what I want. I won the test.
Well, so let's just, I'm sure we can actually draw parallels between what we're talking about and that actual moment. But why do you think you were that way? Is it just how you are, or is it like nature v nurture a little bit? Like, do you think it's the way you were brought up and the way people were around, or are you just confident in yourself and that's just how you are?
I think it's a blend. I think it is definitely a lot about who I am and who I've chosen to be and made conscious decisions to discipline myself to be, like reliable, accountable to my word. Those are choices that I've made of this is who I want to be. So if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it, even if I have to stay up till whatever time of the night to get the job done, because I made a commitment verbally that I was going to do it. So there's that. And then there's, I was very encouraged and supported growing up, and that is an absolute privilege. That's not what everyone has. But I wouldn't say in a way that was overinflated. I don't think that I was, I think my parents were quite realistic in the way that they supported me, but definitely a lot of love and positive support, and like how fortunate.
Interesting. So, okay, cricket captain and into school, and you know, self-proclaimed average student. And I don't know if you're interested or not, but we've done quite a few of these now. I would say that is common across everyone I've spoken to. Everyone has told me.
Everyone was the cricket captain.
No, yeah, correct. They picked their mates. No, everyone has said didn't really like school and wasn't very good. And here I am. So I don't know if you know that, because like a lot of this thing, like you were talking about that, you might not speak to other people about that. Does that surprise you?
Yeah, I think because I know some of the people you've spoken to, I think that surprises me. I think that school, I loved socially, but academically, I don't think the framework worked for me the way that I think. I'm a very hands-on person and I'm a doer. And the testing format at school, exams, sit down, write, like all of that kind of stuff.
Don't contradict what you just told me. You said that you aced the test for the cricket captain.
Yeah, but that was in primary school. I was quite a good student in primary school academically.
Yeah.
High school, it just kind of.
So what's the journey then? Like when did you start your business? When did you start Fox and Rabbit?
I was 19.
Right.
So this is what I've done professionally my entire adult life.
Is that right? Mm-hmm. So you finished school at 18 or 17?
17, yep.
And then studied and then nothing? Or
I didn't know what I wanted to do. I signed up to go to uni to to be a teacher. My mum's a primary school teacher and she was born to do it. And she has so much, she's retired now, but I watched her have so much job satisfaction. And so I realised now that that's what I wanted. I wanted to be like so fulfilled in my work. She was so good at it and so passionate about it, still is. So I wanted that. And then I realised I don't really like other people's kids that much to spend time with them every day in that
who
way.
does? No one likes other people's kids. Teachers do.
Yeah, teachers do. Thank goodness.
Yeah,
Some
I know.
people need to. Teachers, childcare workers. You want people that love
Incredible.
all kinds of children.
Incredible
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
But I ain't that either.
I mean, I think now with wisdom, time, experience, and my own children, I have a lot more empathy for kids but yeah.
Not as a 19-year-old.
Not as a
18-year-old.
19-year-old. Yeah. I was like, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
These guys are rat bags.
So you went to uni felt like
Well, I've dropped out very, very quickly.
Right.
Yeah.
And again, the kind of the way that you were learning was just, this isn't.
Well, I think,
doing-
just quickly was just like, I don't care about this enough to be here for this many years and then to dedicate my life to this.
Right.
Then I went to TAFE. I started studying Auslan, Australian Sign Language.
Did you?
I thought that was interesting. It was really interesting. I enjoyed it. But there were some things I didn't enjoy, and also it wasn't like a very clear pathway to a career. And then I did my sister's wedding. That's how I got into flowers. So I'm self-taught. I did her wedding purely because I knew where the flower market was in Perth, and so I could, buy stuff. And because they were young, got married, didn't have much money, and everyone was getting handed out jobs. You do this, you do this, you do this. I got the flowers. I did it. I liked it. But it wasn't like, oh my God, I found it, my calling. And then her friends were getting married around, people get married in similar kind of time frames. So her friends were getting married. They would ask me. And again, I'd just be like, oh yeah, they're asking me because they can't pay an actual florist.
Yeah.
And I'm around and willing. So I was just doing it kind of for fun.
Yeah.
And then it was when friends of friends and people that had gone to a wedding that I'd done the flowers of, and then an extension of that, like it was 3 or 4 people removed from me, asked me to do their flowers. And I was like, this doesn't make sense. You don't know me enough for me to do you a favour. You're prepared to pay for it. Maybe I actually am kind of good at this. Maybe actually when you say that you liked it, it's not just because
thanks,
you kind of know me. Yeah, it was like, oh, you actually did like it. And that's when I was like, maybe I'm kind of good at this. Maybe I should look in starting a little business. And
so, yeah, I'll get into the business side. But if you, I've seen some of your installations now, they're incredible and they take you a long time, right? I know all of that stuff. And again, people, I guess, that don't know either you or me, full disclosure, I'm business partners with your husband.
Yeah.
So sometimes
you're my husband's work husband.
Yeah, correct. And sometimes he comes in and he's like, oh, mate, you look tired. He's like, I was up till 5 a.m. doing an installation in a crazy hotel. I've been hanging upside down for the last 6 hours. Sweet. But if you think about what you do now again and think about and I'm calling your sister's wedding day one.
Yeah.
Did you do a good job?
Yeah, totally.
Did you?
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't look back and go, ugh. There's other ones I look back and I'm like, okay. But yeah, my sister's wedding, nailed it.
How did you know what you were doing?
Well, my sister's an artist, so she's super creative. So I think that also plays into the fact that I never thought I was creative really, because my sister was always the creative one in the family.
Right.
She can kind of do everything in terms of drawing, painting, sculpting, ceramic, all of that kind of stuff. And so she found some things online, blogs back in the day, because I started my business before Instagram.
So we're talking blogs,
Yeah.
flower blog.
Yeah, yep, found some blogs.
I can't even remember what a blog is. Wasn't it just people just writing?
Yeah, it's like a diary,
thoughts? Yeah.
online diary. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, some tutorials and stuff like that kind of thing. So did a little bit of research to kind of know, what I was, hopefully try and figure out what I was doing. And
Right. So, okay. So you're doing...
And it was simple, very simple.
So you're doing favours effectively, but you're getting paid before you start a business. You
Yeah,
start doing a few more and you're like, so then you said, maybe this is a business.
Yeah.
So you're still 19 at this stage?
Yeah.
So
I think I did my sister's wedding. I was 18 maybe then.
Right. So as a 19-year-old, you're like, all right, I'll start a flower business.
That's when I register my business.
Yeah. And is that just as an easy decision as that? It's like, I'll just do it.
Yeah.
Don't really know what I'm doing, but I'll just do that.
Yeah. I mean, stakes were low. Didn't have kids, didn't have a family, wasn't living out of home, didn't have all these overheads or anything like that. So it wasn't, there really wasn't a fear of failure, because it wasn't like I'm stepping out to do this in a big way and this needs to be who I am and support my living and be so intrinsically linked to my identity. It was just I'll just start this, see what happens, see where it goes. It was chill. Also, I think because it is so easy to pop up now in many different spaces, but definitely in floristry and in creative services, it's so easy to pop up and look quite polished and professional and look like you know what you've got going on and that you've got like lots of bookings and stuff like that by just having a well-polished portfolio on Instagram, basically. You can talk in the terms of we do this, we do that when it's just you, and you can look like you've got a studio or some kind of setup and it's your laundry or something like that, right? With no disrespect to that. I started in my parents' laundry, yeah. But I never pretended that I was like bigger than what I was. It was like, I'm just doing this thing. I'm just figuring it out. I wasn't trying to be like...
Yeah, you're not doing mail drops, trying to get 365 clients, one a day. You were just like, oh, I'll do a wedding on the weekend.
Totally. And
do you feel like that's been consistent, as in not, like pretending or not pretending, or you know, the imagery, but like, do you feel like that's been your journey in business? As in, like, not trying to do too much, or at times have you been like, we're cooking this?
Yeah, no, I'm very like highly ambitious, highly motivated, and I'm motivated by excellence. That's my like key motivation, not finances. I mean, obviously that's a means to an end. So because I want to have a certain lifestyle or something, that then I motivate myself towards that financially. But really, I'm motivated by excellence. So if there's an opportunity for me to do something really well, I will like push that to the nth degree, and that is good in a way because I want to be the best. But it's also like to my detriment because
you've bitten off a little bit too much.
Totally, many times. Yeah.
So what sort of mistakes did you make early, and did you know them at the time? Or sorry, I keep saying mistakes, but like what did you get wrong?
Yeah.
At early stages, and did you know you got it wrong, or do you only know it's wrong now that you know what you know?
Yeah. I have very little like regrets in life, which is not to say that like there aren't things that I'm like, oh, that was not the right decision at the time. But I'm a big believer in the fact that you are making your best decision with the information that you have at the time. And I don't want to live with this overhanging of like, if there's all these regrets, it's like, oh, I should have known better. I should have been better. I should have, like, I don't want to put myself in that position where I'm beating myself up because of, you know, the hindsight that I did not have.
Yes.
So I've definitely made significantly poor decisions under the guise of like, this is going to be great, or this, you know, you don't know what you don't know. Yeah. So, I mean,
what's the what?
There is a lot. So I've had my business for, it'll be 15 years next month.
Party.
I've made like so many bad, like it's almost hard to narrow it down and pick one.
What's a really like, is there something that, and I think we're quite similar actually, Beck. I've told you that before. But I'm the same. I look back and I'm like, yes, so I've stuffed, like, couldn't have stuffed more things up, basically.
Totally.
But then it's like hard to think about it. But there's always a couple of things that kind of sit with you and you're like, yeah, butchered that. Is there something like that?
Yeah, there's like, there's silly ones that's like in probably my second year of trying to like be a legitimate business. Like I was reading all these books and stuff. I'm like, okay, marketing. I've got to invest in marketing. And then like, I'm like, what does every bride have? Everyone has, because this is when we were just doing weddings and events at that stage before we opened the retail store. And I was like, everyone has like a magazine. So I spent all this money like advertising magazines, like money I didn't know how to put together a thoughtful marketing plan. I didn't know how to determine how is this going to make me a return on my investment and all of that kind of stuff. So I would have spent like $8,000 that I, you know, in year 2 of my business, like in magazines that I never saw a lick of. And what I know now is that like, I mean, magazines are kind of irrelevant now, but like, you know, they see the picture, they like it, and they take it to their local florist and they go, here, I want these. They don't call me. I'm like, cool.
That's funny. I wouldn't have thought about that. But that, yeah, right. Yeah. It's like a haircut in a magazine. And
yeah, totally.
Take it to your own
you're like, oh my God, who is this?
Made me look like
Call
David Beckham.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm going to drive 45 minutes to come to see you because I have to have, they just take in the photo of.
Right.
Yeah. That's just I did a Valentine's pop-up shop one time, and I was like, women, so the gentlemen listening,
yes,
if there are any, women prefer not red roses on Valentine's Day, But like that is just what has been so cleverly marketed for, well, since, you know, the dawn of.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's what gentlemen always buy. So I was like, I'm going to do a pop-up, no red roses. I'm not even going to do red. I'm just going to do like beautiful mixed bunches of like other flowers. It's going to be cheaper for people as well because red roses are so expensive that time of year. Anyway, did this pop-up shop. I think I spent about $15,000 doing this thing. And I came out negative $4,000 at the end of it. It was because women were walking past and saying, oh my gosh, these are so beautiful. I wish my partner would get me something like this for Valentine's Day instead of da-da-da-da. And I'm like, yes, that's what the customer wants.
And then the men were
like, oh,
where are the
I don't know. Yeah,
roses?
exactly. What, you don't have any roses? And I was like, I promise your partner will appreciate this and love this. And it was horrible. Like, it was just doing all that work. Like, for us, Valentine's Day isn't one day. It's months and months of planning. And it's about a week of, like, you're prepping flowers and all of that kind of stuff. So the one just gone that we just had, I almost didn't sleep for, like, four days, like, to just do the sheer volume of what we need to do. And imagine just working that hard and putting in that much effort. I paid staff, etc., all of that kind of stuff. No, it's true. It's fine. This was years ago. I'm like, and then at the end of the day, I was freaking exhausted, so disappointed, and I had all this stock left that just died. That I'm like, that's my money dying. So sad.
I'm just like imagining, because like when I say imagining, me, just like. So, like, looks great.
Yeah.
Where are the roses?
Yeah, cool.
Like,
but this is Valentine's. Have you ever heard of Onion Florist? Haven't you heard of Valentine's Day? Oh, so sad. So now I'm just like, you know, you try to be like, I'm going to be different. Now I'm just like, well, I guess I'm going to sell red roses.
Well, you're going to make smart business decisions.
Yeah, 100%.
And you only learned that because you stuffed it up.
Yeah, well, I tried it. I gave it a really like good crack, and yeah.
So early days to, I guess, like properly running a business, like is there a point in which that happens? Like you go, oh, I'm not just doing favors and I'm not just doing a few weddings here and there. Like, this is actually a business. Like not a business name. Or you tell me, like what is that? Is there a moment?
There were a couple. There was one very, very significant moment where I realized how much money I was making and it was nothing, like in me personally. So I was bringing in all this money and had all these bookings and I was so busy and I was like, well, I need to bring staff in because this is too much for me. And then I was like, well, if I'm going to bring people in, first of all, how do I do that? And second of all, how do I tell them what I expect from them? Like, I had no structures, no nothing. I'd never worked in a flower shop, so I didn't know anything about how it was set up, how it was structured, what was expected, what was normal, what was common, what wasn't, all of that kind of stuff. And I was self-taught, so all of this stuff that I had preferred design methods and all of that kind of stuff was all just like my own things that I made up. So it was like, how do I teach someone to do it the way that I want it done? So what do I even do? What do I like? Because I would think that I would just go to the workbench and just start and it would just kind of pour out of me this like creative flow, great. But actually, like, is it teachable? Is it something that can be written down? It is, totally. So I spent a lot of time literally writing guides of how to make this, how to make that, to get like certain shapes and scale and different things like that. So I was just documenting as I was making everything that I was doing.
Right.
And also I was timing myself. I literally had a timer. How long does it take me to make this? I remember like every single thing that I was making, I was timing because I wanted to say to a staff member, you need to make this and this is how much time you've got to make it. Because I don't care if you're the most creative person in the world that makes the most beautiful thing that I've ever seen. If it took you 8 hours to make it, this one thing, and we've got to make 20 of them, like I don't make any, what was the point of even coming in today? I lost money.
Right.
So I timed everything. And that's when I realized that my pricing model was really wildly inaccurate.
Because it was taking you longer.
I was basically earning just over $5 an hour if I actually like broke it down in terms of how long it was taking me to make each piece and how much money I was putting into product.
But before you did that process, it was just like, oh, okay, like request comes in, I do that, it goes out, that's what it costs.
Yeah.
And there's no understanding of the moving parts.
And also it kind of didn't matter. Well, it does matter, but in that small scale where it was just me at home, if it took me 15 hours to make something, it's just me, like I still make the same amount of money at the end of the day, but it just, so it was like, how do I become more efficient? How do I set expectations that are realistic as well? And not just be like, make this in 10 minutes when it's not. Like, how do I measure that? How do I track that? So now everyone that starts working for me, when they start working for me, they have to like literally on their phone, like I get them to start making something and we time it and see how long it takes. And we have like a time budget, and it sounds like that sounds intense, but it's to get it into a creative minded person's framework that time is money, because they don't necessarily, creative people, they have a lot of really wonderful skills, but time management is certainly not, typically speaking, not one of them.
Yes.
Budgeting, not one of them.
Yes.
But I'm a creative person that didn't have any of those skills and had to figure it out because I wanted to be a business owner. And that's the thing, like at the end of the day, I'm first and foremost a business owner. This is a business. We have to be for profit, and I'm the one that has to figure that out and make sure that happens and know how to communicate really well to people.
So, and I know you haven't forgotten, but like to bring that back to the question of when did you start, when you think you were an actual business, it was when you started like effectively logging and tracking what you were actually doing rather than just doing it. Would that, am I putting words in your mouth?
Yeah, and when I started to go, I need to have systems and processes.
Right.
I need to have templates, or so that I'm not custom every single email reply. I need to make templates for the common threads of things, and I need to have a document about like what is expected in the workplace in terms of anything from like culture and values and attitude to like what to wear. Because if you're climbing up and down a ladder doing an install in a ceiling or something like that, you can't be in a miniskirt. And like that sounds dumb, but it's like I've had to write those things and make these documents because someone's rocked up to work in a miniskirt and I'm like, we're hanging stuff in the ceiling today and I don't want to see your butt and I don't want our clients seeing your butt or more.
But you don't know that until you know it either.
Or exactly. So it's like when I started, you
can't write these systems and structures until you've done them.
Yeah.
Because like I feel like, and again, I can only use my personal experience for some of this, but like we tried to do that early days and like we didn't even know what we're doing. So it's like, here's the systems and structures for everyone to follow, but like we're not even following them. So
well, that's a big part of it.
Yeah.
You have to be highly accountable.
Yes.
Like so for us, like proper footwear is really important. Obviously, we're working with scissors, knives, other tools that you can drop and hurt your foot. So you need to wear enclosed shoes. I tell you, the one day that I rock up with like a sandals on, the next day everyone's wearing sandals. Like you have to be so highly accountable to what the expectations are because everyone's watching, whether it's conscious or subconscious, whatever. As soon as I can't be like, oh, I didn't wear my uniform to work because like, it's just been so busy and this and that with the kids and whatever, and I just didn't get the washing done and so I'm just in a normal T-shirt. The rules have to apply to me as well as everyone else because otherwise, I don't know, everyone has life stuff going on and everyone's got a reason to not do the washing and someone else is just going to be, the next day, I didn't, It's like we are a professional brand. We work with with clients that have very high expectations, and it matters to Louis Vuitton what we come into their store looking like, and it matters to the hotels that we work with and the clients that stay there and the celebrities that stay there and all of that kind of stuff that we have, that we work not with, but with their PAs or whatever. Like it matters the way that we present ourselves. And so that is very important. So it's so much more than just like making the flowers beautiful. Like it's.
Was there any hard lessons there? Like, have you always been held yourself so accountable and do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that something you've had, or have you did something happen? You're like, right. Like, I tried to implement this system in. I didn't do it. I don't know. Like putting everyone on Slack, and then you're sending text messages around, and it's like,
yeah.
Like I don't know. That's a bad example, maybe, but have you had to learn it, or have you just been that person forever?
I think it's a bit of a mix. I think I've been like my parents are both very like very accountable to their word. So that was modeled to me. So I didn't really necessarily know any other way. And like honesty in our family is like, very important. Which, but I mean, my parents wouldn't be saying one thing to their friends and then getting in the car and then be like, ugh, on the way home and having that, like, so as a child, you pick up on that stuff. Or if my parents, if they said that they would do something and then something happened because everything happens and it was no longer ideal for that to happen and they had a quite reasonable get out of jail free card. No, I made a commitment. I'm doing it. And they would do it. And it wasn't this huge, like, kids, we're going to sit down and teach you this lesson. It was just modeled my whole life. And like, I respect that so much. So I'm like that. And then I don't know, I take it to the nth degree. So I'm even like, I don't know, too much sometimes where it's like, Beck, you're sick. And I'm like, no, I said I would do it. But it's not a crutch. It's not, I don't think it's in any way like, a bad thing. It's good. I like that about myself.
Yes. It's a good attribute. So that's when you become well, at least in your mind, a proper business. Once that becomes a thing, what are the biggest challenges? What are the biggest challenges? Maybe early, but what are the biggest challenges of running a business, an actual business, and not like?
Oh my gosh.
Give me some big challenges. I don't know. Can I throw some at you?
Yeah.
Like where you're working. Like you can't work in a laundry sink forever.
Yeah.
So finding somewhere to work, is that a challenge?
It's expensive, I guess, because floristry is like, you need quite a lot of space.
Yes.
If you've got to make, let's say one wedding could have 80 different things going on, some of various scale. You need to be able to like store them. It's not something you can stack on top of each other. So you make one thing of this size that goes on a bench. It's not a box where you can go up like this. So you've got to have that much surface space for everything so you need a lot of space. There's a lot of overheads. It is an industry where the cost of the product is very high. The cost of labour is, it is expensive, but it's also that everything takes a really long time to make. You're making it by hand. You're not pressing a print button. And it's not easily scalable in the sense that if you're making 1 or 1,000, it doesn't exponentially get easier and quicker to make 1,000. In fact, if it gets harder to make 1,000 because you're fatigued.
You're tired.
And people aren't robots. You can't expect them to, as much as I'm talking about the time budget and all of that kind of stuff, like there is enough fat in that to make sure that like if someone needs to take a phone call, if someone needs to go to the toilet, God forbid, sit down and have a lunch break. Like you can, like you need to, but you're not a robot. You're not just like, you have to work. And for creativity, you need a little bit of space and a bit of air if you want to be truly like drawing out something unique and different. And you need to be able to have a little bit of time to ponder and think. You actually need to make something, look at it and go, that's not very good, and pull it apart and remake it. Like, so.
Do you think the pace that you've set personally has hindered what you just spoke about? Like, maybe biting off too much, or you're sick or you haven't slept, and that's your personal pace. But once you start a business, like other people are now involved. Has that?
Yeah. Oh, let me tell you that the timing thing is like generous. Like I could do it in half the time.
Yeah, but that's your pace. And I don't mean, I don't mean pace to put together.
Sorry.
I mean pace as in business pace, as in expectation pace, as in you have ultimately high expectations. Once other people are involved more than yourself, like do you think at times that you're driving too high of a pace, and that's how you've learned to, we can take a lunch break, we can take a phone call?
Yeah. I'm like everyone else can take a lunch break, but I'm never taking a lunch break.
No, I don't doubt that.
Yeah.
Do you ever think about that that's too high a pace for other people too?
100%. 100%. I don't expect from others what I expect from myself, because also it's not their business, and I don't I need them to be well. I've demanded things of people, I suppose, in the past where, I've just watched people like that can't handle it. Their body starts like breaking down, like, because it's a very physical job. And, that it's to the level that we're working, there's only so many people that are actually cut out to do it. I mean, floristry mostly attracts females, and it's young women who then have babies. And like in 15 years, like I've probably had as many, at least, pregnancies, like, which is, don't get me wrong, 2 of those are mine. Like I love it. I love that. But it is like,
with a pure business lens on it.
With a pure business lens, it's like, it's complicated because you get a team that's solid, it's rocking, it's happening, and then 2 people fall pregnant at the same time, and you're like, oh my gosh, I need to fill 2 roles. How do I? There's a big. There's nowhere to learn modern floristry in Western Australia. Nowhere. So there's a huge upskill that needs to happen. And with the scope of the work that we do, the type of clients that we work with and stuff like that, you kind of need 12 months looking at our business before you really understand what we do. So if I don't, that 12 months of training, because to put it this way, we might do the massive thing that happens at Crown Towers that is a 1,000 sit down like event that we have to make, I don't know, so many things for, that we might do that once in a year, maybe twice, certainly no more than 3 times. So someone to be able to see that, so they know what that takes to be able to do it again, and to do it with maybe not me there, they need to have seen it a couple of times. So I have to be around a lot and involved a lot. Which is, yes, it's my business, but then sometimes that means that
that's a challenge.
It's a challenge, yeah.
Well, on the same thing, like people management, and remember, like we're talking going from just Beck to Beck plus however many. Has that been a challenge, managing people?
It was a lot easier when I was working on the tools a lot more, and then like kind of around a lot more, and saw. Yeah, it's harder as the business has grown and my role has become a lot more on the management side and the running of the business side, the more administrative stuff. That has become a lot more complicated. Like the scale that we're at now, in some ways it was, I don't know, it's easier to manage a small team. I've kind of lost track of what the question was.
People management, is it hard?
It's hard. Yeah. Everyone has stuff going on in the background. It's someone's got an illness that they've told you about, because there needs to be some kind of like sensitivity and management there maybe. On the work angle, but it's obviously like sensitive, so you can't talk to anyone about it, obviously, but you have to regular check in and make sure that person's okay, make sure that they're sitting down enough, or make sure that this and that, whatever's happening, you're privy to that information because you're their boss and you might need to cater to that. So you're dealing with at least 1 or 2 people that have this significant something in the background that they can't help, they can't deal with, but it has an impact on the workplace. Someone else has like a partner and that is a messed up situation and something like potentially not great is happening, and you kind of have a little bit of kind of knowledge maybe, and you don't want to make too many assumptions, but something's going on there that's, you know, and that like is bleeding into the workplace in a way, and you kind of are trying to manage that and whatever. Someone else has a kid that is just like regularly unwell, and what, you know, they're I don't know, that's complicated. Someone else, their parent is going through something, or their sister is going through a divorce, or there's just, everyone is carrying something, and you kind of have some kind of understanding, or you are aware but you can't communicate it. So you're trying to cater to that need but you can't make everyone aware, and you're trying to make it look like it's not favoritism, or, you know, you're trying to be, but then you're managing another conversation where someone's like, oh, that person gets to do this and they get to do that and whatever, and you're like, yeah, they have got cancer and you don't know this, but I can't tell you because it's not my information to share. And you just have to be like, under the context of what they know, I'm trying to be empathetic and understanding. It's just, you're managing all of these things, but then you're also like, this is actually a workplace. I need you to kind of leave some of your home stuff at home and just come to work. It's not that simple. And I'm also like, I'm just trying to make budget. I'm just trying to do what the client says, or
Yeah, you're actually trying to, you know, this is like all this stuff, and then, you got to do the work. Like,
totally.
You got to do the thing that we're here for.
Yeah, and, you know, I'm trying, you know, I want to be as open, as empathetic, as connected as I can be, but sometimes that modern demand on, or that relationship demand, or that demand on the workplace to be as flexible as possible, to try and be individually creating unique working spaces and opportunities for 15 different people, it's very hard. And at times it's harder than others, and but what are you supposed to do? Turn around and say to someone, well, I don't care that you're sick right now. This is my expectation of, like, I don't know, I guess some companies probably do that. I don't care that your kid's sick, rock up, we've got a wedding today, I don't care. Like, what?
There's not really any option.
So then what happens is you either are hardline, and you either are, I don't care, come to work, and what impact does that have on the culture of the workplace?
Yes.
And what kind of workplace do I want to go to? I want to be with people that I enjoy. Like, I'm not working this hard to like hate going to work. So you're trying to make this environment that's lovely, that you want to be at too. But then also you're like, okay, if I just say to that person, that's cool, I have to work that shift, and I was supposed to take my kid to the da-da-da-da. So now my child misses out on his mum because...
Yes.
Yeah.
You've done a good job at explaining the complications around it, I think. I want to change tact a tiny bit. And I don't know. I don't think it's a hard question to ask, but like, not sure what answer will be. Women running business.
Oh, yes. I'm glad you asked me about this.
Well, the reason why I think it's like not all good, like, I don't know, not hard or whatever it is, like you know, who I'm married to, she runs a business. I've got lots of women in my life running business. So
shout out, Alex, you're the best.
Yeah, shout out. She'll be on here. She's scared about coming on here.
Yeah, it's scary.
But I kind of look at it like, yeah, I don't know, just like, well, you're running a business, but maybe that's not commonly held. I don't know. How do you feel about it?
Okay.
Women running business. Give me what you want.
Sure. All right. So.
I don't know what the question is, to be honest.
That's okay. I'm in an industry that is very female dominated, so it's not in that respect uncommon or like people meet with me, I'm a florist, there's no like, oh, you're the boss, like there's none of that. But there have been many times, I started my business very young, so there's that. Many times that I've been, I'm just trying to think of what underestimated, I guess, or I've been in a couple of different business groups, right, over my time, and, you know, you're one of maybe 2 in a group of 10
Yes.
that are men. And I think as well, as a florist, it's not necessarily like considered to be the same in terms of business as like, you know, somebody in my business group that's like a lawyer, right? It's like, oh, that's a job. That's a proper, serious job. We all listen to the lawyer and his opinion and, you know, and the florist, oh, that's nice. How good on you for giving it a go. As if I don't have overheads, as if I don't have staff issues, as if I don't have, you know. So there's a bit of that, condescending, whatever. But that could be, that comes not just down into the fact that I'm a female, but into the fact that I'm a woman, was young, have been young in business, not so much now, and also like as a florist, I think that's part of it. But as a mum, I have had other gentlemen say to me in business context, in like business meeting context and stuff like that, like something to the effect of, oh, like, yeah, I get it. Like, I run a business, I've got kids, I get how complicated it is. And I'm like, have you breastfed during a business meeting? Like, like a team meeting? Have you, I'm trying to
given
think
birth to a child?
No, but like, that's just like a female versus male,
but
right?
in a business context.
I'm
right.
in a business context at work.
Yes.
I have been racing from a meeting with, like, I'm just trying to think of an actual real life example. So I had a meeting with Elton John's, when I had Louis, Elton John's
assistant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's a big deal. Like, I'm like a name dropping to make it to be like, I'm important, but like, that's a big deal, right? For something that I want to do. And so I have to go to this meeting. I want to go to this meeting. My baby is 10 weeks old. I'm still bleeding. I'm still having like, you know, issues in the healing kind of thing, that would take the taking a bit longer because I went back to work so quickly and I'm being physical. So my mum's going to come and help me. I'm exclusively breastfeeding. I'm breastfeeding, and then my mum's going to take my baby out for a walk while I go and do this meeting. So I'm feeding. I'm like, come on, Lily, like, let's finish. He's taking a while. Let's finish. I give the baby over, and then he like poos through, like out through the nappy and explosion, right? And it gets on my shirt, and I'm like, cool. I've got to go to this meeting. Great. I have to swap shirts with one of the girls at work because I don't have a spare. So she has to give me her shirt. Well, she's not going to wear my shirt with shit on it. So she's like runs to Kmart, whatever, gets a shirt, kind of figure that out. It's fine, go to the meeting, fine. But like, this is the headspace that I'm like, and then I know that this meeting is going well, but it's going for a while. And I know I've got another feed because this was like, he's feeding every 45 minutes. So I'm like, and then I'm feeling my breasts enlarge and I'm like getting uncomfortable. I'm still bleeding, you know, like, so tell me that, yes, you have kids and you own a business and you get what it's like to like be like on low sleep, or you get what it's like, you know, I'm just saying it is not the same. And so it's very hard and it's very complicated, and it can come across as, condescending or, I get it. I get it even from good intentions, but I get it. I've got kids. I get it. It's like, well, you don't to the degree that I'm talking about for what I've had to do while having children and running a business. And it's not just about the fact that I wanted to be the one that met the person. It's the fact that if we want to win the job, like, I've got to be there. I know how to pitch the, you know, whatever it is, the client expectations of me being present or whatever. On that, like when I had my son, I actually had my first child. I had booked to have 3 months off work, and one of my staff members, like, I had to let her go in like this crazy thing that like this blow up that happened at work that someone tried to punch someone.
Perfect. That happens all the time, yeah.
Yeah. Like, what is going on? I'm like, I just want to make the world this beautiful place and sell flowers and like just like deal with lovely people.
And you're back at work.
Yeah, so I had to go back to work. Had to, didn't have a choice because this full-timer that was there, and like that's immediate dismissal. But so you just, your life is always, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think, well, I can't really comment on the women stuff, clearly. But
I always beat whatever you have to say.
no, as in like I don't have a comment. It's just like it's difficult for me to add to it with any.
That's
any
so
context.
And
but
I don't want to make anyone feel diminished, like they can't.
No, it's just real.
Connect,
it's all good. It's real.
Yeah.
But a little bit of what you're saying about the being underestimated, both female and industry. Do you ever get to use that to your advantage?
That's a really good question. I'm sure. Like if there's an angle, I'll find it and I'll work it.
Yeah.
And, you know, like it partly is like fuels me to be just like, I'm going to show you how my work ethic is so flawless that you're going to be like, oh, and sit up and realize that I'm like, but that's, I guess, a way of proving myself. Like, for example, again, going back to like being involved in a business group or something like that. And it's like, you know, we might talk about a bunch of things and we might all have actions. I'm going to be the first one to complete the stuff that I need to complete because I want to show people that like I'm here and I deserve a seat at the table. But like, should I have to do that to like, should I have to earn respect or should I just be respected because there's already a benchmark to get into these groups. Some of them you have to pay. So, you know, you have to show bank statements and show that you earn a certain amount of money so that, you know, understandably they want people kind of within that same bracket so that there's like a like-mindedness of like businesses that earn over $1 million to $2 million, like there's similar problems. So they kind of go together. Yes. Or business, you know. So I've earned the right to be in this group, but now I have to earn the right to be taken seriously to be in this group.
So does that motivate you? Or alternative question, like what motivates you? What's the driver? Is proving people wrong a driver, or is winning a driver, or is making great flowers a driver? I don't know.
Yeah, well, yeah. Like I think I said before, like I'm highly motivated by excellence. So doing the job, but doing the job to like a standard that's like so polished.
Better. I'm trying to get out of you. I think you're very competitive.
What?
You might not be saying it, but it feels like a lot of the things you've been saying that you're highly competitive.
Well, I don't consider myself a competitive person.
Like doing something and excellent means you win.
Oh, does it? Like, okay, so here's the thing. In terms of like in the industry, I measure myself against myself. I'm not looking at what my competitors are doing. I'm like not on social media because I don't need my creativity clouded by what someone else is doing. And my yardstick is not my own backyard. I like to get inspiration from what's happening like overseas or over east. And also I want to be better than who I was like yesterday. So I'm not I just want to be the best version of me, and I have high expectations of myself. But maybe the way I don't like saying that I'm competitive because I don't want to be the winner and have other people be losers. That's not my motivation. I don't want anyone else to be, I just want to be the best for me.
It's good. It's refreshing. I like that. I like it. It's good. Oh, have you ever said that out loud? I don't know.
I talk about it to my staff all the time. Right. We're not allowed to, we are not allowed to at work belittle work that other people have made in the industry. If I hear, it doesn't happen, but if I hear anyone say, oh, did you see what so-and-so? Because especially when it comes to weddings or whatever, it's like who did what, who had what, who, you know, a weekend's just gone. Okay, this weekend coming up, long weekend. There's going to be like, how many weddings over this weekend? And it's like, this is what we did, and this is what they did, and this is what they did, and this is what they did. And it's so easy to go, oh, did you see what, or that ours was better, or this or that. It's so easy to just go into that negative narrative.
Yes.
I don't want a bar of that. I don't care. I don't care what other people are doing. If it's not positive and it's not helping us be better, what's the point?
Would you describe yourself and your business as successful?
Yes.
Good answer. Why are you successful?
I think that everyone has their own expectation around what success is for them. That's important.
Yes.
So a lot of people are going to assume that success is financial and size, and that's not necessarily the case. So my business is this big, so I must be so successful. I earn this much, I must be so successful. You want to obviously have a certain amount of financial stability. That's important. But for me right now, success looks like working 3 days a week so that I'm also spending time with my kids. It looks like buying a house. That's something that's like on the, so that means saving a certain amount a week. So we've got like, you know, those goals. It looks like being home for dinner, and that might sound, I don't know, but as a business, like, or it's so easy to just, oh, just one more thing. Oh, just one, you know, I just got to get back to this one more. So for me, I'm like, all right, it's a priority for me to have dinner with my children. So I'm going to be home for dinner and have special time with them, not while on my phone. And then when they go to bed, if I need to do more work, I pick it up then, rather than staying back 3 hours at work, missing that whole bedtime, getting home at 9:30 and then just sitting in front of the couch. Yeah. Which is just, it's so easy to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agree. The phone stuff's interesting. Might not get into it though. When you were talking about sort of the way you manage people and maybe motivation and other things, what sort of boss are you? What do you think the sort of
I've
boss
changed.
you think you are, and is the same as what other people would say as well? Lots of questions there. Sorry, but like, what sort of boss are you? I'm asking you.
Yeah.
And then the second question: what sort of boss do you think your staff and others think you are?
Big question. Okay. I like to think that I'm reasonably flexible. Floristry, you require a lot of flexibility. So in order for me to get, so a lot of working in events and weddings is random hours. So a wedding, for example, that falls on a weekend. So that in itself is uncommon. But if it's of a certain scale, we might have to start at 5 a.m. We also might have to go back after working a 10-hour shift to produce that wedding. We might have to go back at midnight to pack it down. And that, you know, and we might book a wedding, as much as most wedding bookings are 6 to 8 months in advance, 6 to 12 months in advance. Sometimes you get someone that has a lot of money and they don't need to have that whole big planning process. They just go, cool, we're getting married and we're doing it in a month. And I need to be able to turn around to my team and say, oh my God, I need someone to work like in 3 weeks' time, all weekend. Who, you know, so if I expect that flexibility within my workforce, I need to also be really flexible I like to think that I'm motivating. But I feel sad about this. I've had to adjust. I think it used to be more of like a family vibe kind of thing. We're all in this together. And after COVID, which decimated my business, and by that I mean we primarily pre-COVID, weddings and events, hotel work, celebrity work, and
Venues.
yeah,
Like
like
hospo,
restaurants. And, yeah. That was all. That's like where our core business was. And then outside of that, we had teaching workshops, which again, you can't say, "Hey guys, let's all get together in a group of strangers and learn something." Like no one wanted
so that
to.
list of things you just said, like there was no
Yeah.
hotels,
Yeah.
or there
You
was,
couldn't-
but people were like locked in
Yeah.
their rooms.
People couldn't enter the state, so
There's no people.
No
and there
one's
was no
getting
things.
married. Yeah, no one's having a 300 ballroom, whatever. So we had to cut this. We booked 12 months at a time, for events and stuff like that. So the phone didn't stop ringing for 3 days as the restrictions came in. It was like, okay, it's 200 people, and then. So we lost we lost some ballroom stuff, like big corporate stuff. We lost, and then offices are starting to kind of close down. So we're losing the corporate work that we're doing up and down the terrace. Now it's 100 people. So then half of our weddings are gone. So for 3 days, we lost $1.2 million worth of contracted work in 3 days. And my girls are it's emails, it's phone, it's whatever. At the time I had 15 on staff. And this was in March, and the girls were like, oh, this isn't very good. At least we've got Mother's Day coming up. And I'm like, Mother's Day is in 2 months. How on earth am I going to pay wages? Am I going to pay we've got 2 locations, 2 leases. Even just the freaking phone bill and the energy bill, and we've got 2 delivery vehicles, one of which we still had on like a lease plan. Like how do we pay for all of these things if there's no money? And one day that's happening in 2 months, which who knows if we will even, like, it was terrifying. So I had to let all my staff go around about a week after that. Including myself, I lost my job in the sense that I no longer was getting paid. But yeah, I was working the hardest I've ever worked. Louis was, I'm trying to think.
He would have been
how old
year
was
and a
he?
half.
Year and a half. So how do you?
2018.
Yeah.
2 years. 2 years old.
Yeah. 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 Year and a half. Yep, that's about right. And Dan was studying. So I was, and he was working at a casual job at a bottle shop. So I was the sole income earner. Sorry, that's not the primary income earner. Like, what situation are you in? I had to sit down and figure out, like, what am I liable for? I met with a bankruptcy agent to just figure out what. So I stopped counting at $600,000 in terms of
red. No.
Yeah, primarily that was in rent. One of my leases I just re-signed for 7 years, and I think I was a year into that. And like, this is a business that was doing really well, that was making money. That these aren't because I made poor business decisions, or this was a huge world event of something that no one could have predicted to happen. And I almost lost like everything. And when you're staring down the barrel of a debt of that size, and that's where I stopped counting because I couldn't do it anymore and I felt so sick. Even if there are certain debts that bankruptcy isn't just like a get out of jail, like free pass.
Yeah.
There's things that will follow you, and debts that you still have to pay, like if you have any money going to the ATO or anything like that, or whatever, like you know anyway.
What did you do?
But I'm not university educated, and I'm not, I can't just go and get another job. And what would I be worth to someone? Maybe 80 grand, maybe. How do I pay off a debt of that size? And that changes what my options are for my family, for my life, for will I ever get a mortgage? Will I ever have the option to send my child to a school that is a paid, like a private school, or any of those things? Like, how important is that to me? Anyway, so what did I do? Oh my gosh. Well, JobKeeper saved my business. Let's just put that out there. I was able to re-employ 3 of my girls. 4. There was 4 of us. from that. And we thankfully, the girls that I brought back in were all managers of different departments, and they were just beautiful, incredible, and were all in. And they didn't ask for their. I said to them, look, I can bring you back in, but I can only pay you what I'm getting from JobKeeper. I can't pay you anything more than that. And they were okay with that. So they made that choice, which I will never not be eternally grateful for. And everyone worked so hard. Everyone worked like a donut.
On what? Like all these contracts are out the door and no one's doing anything. What are you working on? Is that a dumb question?
No, that's a fine question.
Because we had Whippersnapper here, right?
Yeah.
And they spoke about that time.
Yeah.
And they turned their stills into hand sanitizer stills, and not because it like went against every moral fibre of their being, because they're like, we
It's
make
survival.
whiskey. And they're like, and you know, they put some rules around what they were doing it for and not profiting as covering costs or whatever. But like, they flipped their business into a fucking medical bloody sanitizer business.
Yeah.
But what were you doing?
Well, thankfully, we realised that gifting was still something that could happen.
Delivery drivers.
Yeah. So, Dan started delivery driving for me. Did you delivery drive?
I was delivery driving.
Oh
That's how my
my
business
God.
started, because I think people out with delivery drivers. So I started delivering wine.
Yeah.
We should have been doing a deal. We should have been doing flowers and wine back.
Yeah. I know. Oh, my gosh.
Sorry, it's not meant to be funny.
No, that's okay. It's anyway. So I kind of lost my train of thought. But
What were you doing? You were doing deliveries.
yeah, we were doing
Like the
deliveries.
four
So
of
we
you.
found that was obviously something that was still, just a way to make some kind of money. And again, it was just about making sure that we were I felt like through that kind of 18-month, there was an 18-month period there where I felt like I was always just almost drowning, that I was just resurfacing for a breath and then plunged back under to struggle. And just before I just got back to take a breath. Like, it was horrid. But then at the same time, like, I've learned so many lessons. Like, I've really learned what I was made of going through that. Really learned a lot about like my character. Like, am I really the person that I want to be or who I say I am? When my back's up against a wall, do I still look after other people around me that are important to me or not? Because it's easy to, when everything's flowing and everything's good, to be like the generous person. But yeah, can you still look after others when you're struggling yourself? Or are you capable of showing kindness and empathy when you're going through something really difficult and you've like lost almost everything and someone else is going through something that's challenging, or are you just like, well, you should be grateful because what I'm experiencing is way worse than, how what's your attitude and how, yeah.
Can you remember why you started talking about that? I can, but I'm just wondering if you can.
Because of staff.
Yeah, you said it makes me sad to say this.
Yeah.
And family.
The
and
reason,
then you started speaking about.
Yeah, because
not trying to make you sad.
I had to, that's okay. I'm trying to not get too emotional.
It's okay.
I had some experiences in that time. Like I said, it showed me who I was made of, what I was made of. Sorry, it also showed me some true colours of some other people as well. And I don't have any ill will towards these people because I don't. It's just, how do you react when the rug has been pulled out from underneath you and people react differently? Some people go, okay, we need to get through this together, let's band together. And some people go, fuck you guys and I'm just going to protect me.
Get me in the life raft.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're man, woman, child.
Yeah, that's it. So even just within my own team, there were experiences of all different kinds. And it hurt me so much.
You got it.
That I've had to make very clear choices to like not explore like friendships within work anymore. So when you say about the type of boss that I am, like I think I'm a lot more kind of, there's work me and then there's outside of work me, where it's, I think it used to be a lot more like, I'm not sure if that makes sense, but
it feels like it's changed, and without ever hearing that story before, and it's okay to be emotional, because I think it's important to see that I think like we live in this like stupid world, and like what we do here is just like social media. It's just honestly a piece of shit. I just hate it. And it's so funny because it's like a massive part of what we do. But we live in this world and it's like, all right, Beck from Fox and Rabbit, got a great following, nice flowers all the time on there. See Beck. It's like, oh yeah, she runs a business, but like, man, like who cares? Like,
yeah.
It's like, but seeing an owner speak about what you speak about, even just like the full lead up to this, is like, business isn't really like business. It's your life. It's like, it's not, this is probably
you're
like.
never off.
No, you're never off. And like, this is less of a business podcast and more like, it's not this is your life either. I'm not Mike Munro. Who'd you call me before?
Tracy Grimshaw.
Tracy Grimshaw.
I'd love to sit down with Tracy
But
Grimshaw.
what is like very evident, hearing stories, exactly like you just told, is like, it's more than just like, dollars and cents and money and brand and how everything looks on the outside. And I would say, like, I hope you don't feel alone, even though sometimes as a business owner you do. Your story would be, so paralleled to pretty much anyone running any size of business, whether it's a dollar shop on the corner or you're running Rio Tinto. Although it'd be nice to get looked after, probably like those guys do. There'd be like
I don't want to sell my soul like they have to.
Similar feelings for people running business, I think.
Yeah. It's extremely complicated managing people. I mean, we talked about that. But yeah, people only know what they know. They see the view that they see. And as the leader of the business, as the boss, I have to see this overarching view of everything. I have to have a deep knowledge and understanding of as much as I can so that I can make effective decisions to make sure that our business is here in 10, 15, 20 plus years. So I'm constantly trying to be as aware as possible and making decisions that factor in everything. So that's finances, client needs, I don't know, anything that's randomly going in the background for my staff, and then any other things that's got going on, contract negotiation that might be coming up in 5 weeks. I've just got to be, whatever, all of that kind of stuff, as well as like managing my own workload. And all of those little things, I only see, those little things. So the individual that works for me only sees themselves, how they operate and work in the business, and how I relate to them within that. So then they're more willing to be like, well, why did you do that? Because that benefited that person, but it didn't benefit me, or what, there's more of like and it comes across as narrow-minded. It comes across as selfish. It comes across as you have no clue, you have no idea. And that could be my reaction if I choose that to be my reaction. Or I can step back, take a beat and be like, they only know the small amount that they know. That is their role. That is if I want them to know everything, then I can bring them into a management position and we can talk about everything, but that's not what I need for them. I just need them to be a florist. So I can't be upset that someone's pissed off about one little thing that, it's just, you have to just be a bit water under the bridge because otherwise it just wrecks you. Yeah, and that was my experience.
Yeah, it's like, it's difficult too though, right? Like you need to be able to do it, but it's like, you also can't just let it all flow under,
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you have to also there's HR. So you have to be able to be somewhat, as much as possible, try and put yourself in their shoes and just be like, okay, what is the reason behind this? What they're saying, is it reasonable? Is it not reasonable? And they're not saying you're a terrible boss and you're a bad person, but sometimes that's how it feels. You didn't consider me. You didn't consider my feelings. You're a horrible person. And I'm like, you don't even know what I've got teetering over here. And if I don't make budget this and this week, or if I can't pitch to this client, you know, you're bothering me about this, but if I don't work on this pitch and we don't win this job, someone might lose their job next month. Like, I mean, thankfully my business isn't in that zone anymore, but we were in that zone for some time where it was just like every single day felt like it counted so much. Every single order felt like it counted so much. And again, going back to COVID, everyone was highly volatile, and not just staff, but also clients. So, you know, it was like, okay, let's say you're sending flowers to your mum, right? Because she's in Melbourne, you can't see her. So it's her birthday, you send her flowers, Mum, I love you so much, I miss you, and I wish we could be together, right? Let's say that your flowers, even though our delivery time is between 10 and 5, right? Let's say it's your mum's birthday, you haven't heard from her, and your flowers arrived at 4:45. We have like, we were pulling things out of our butts to make some of these arrangements because flights weren't coming in, so we couldn't import flowers. And the local farms, some of them closed because they couldn't afford staff and all of that kind of stuff. They couldn't pick. We were like, I don't know, we were trying so hard just to, and we were also doing everything. So we were making the stuff and delivering stuff, all of that kind of thing. So we were like just making it sometimes, and people would turn around and they were pissed because they hadn't heard from Mum. It's her birthday. It's been all day. And we're like, but we did exactly what we said we were going to do. We got the delivery done and we did it within the time frame that was said. But the feedback that we got over COVID was so intense because people couldn't see each other. These gifts meant so much. It was like, this is the hug that I can't give you. So if they felt that the shade of pink was not exactly the shade of pink that they had specified over the phone, like, we heard about it. And yeah, it was, you know, we've heard stories about, you know, people going berserk in Coles or, you know, whatever, because they couldn't get one thing. It was just like people under pressure, like, just it can manifest this stuff. So we were dealing with like, and then we'd have another client that called and was like, oh my gosh, I just want to say how grateful I am. My sister's been in hospital. I'm overseas. I can't see her. I'm, you know, and the fact that I was able to give her flowers. So we're literally on the phone. Someone's had the best day ever. And then on the phone, we've ruined their whole life. And they're like, we're going to run star review you on Facebook. And I'm just like, I left before my child woke up. I come home after my child's in bed. Like, there's just so much dynamic.
It sounds like, and I'm sure you do know this, but it sounds like that you are running a people business and not necessarily a flower business.
Isn't every business a people business?
I like it.
Yeah.
I just saw the time. We've been chatting a lot and we need to wrap it up. But I'll find a way to put it all together with a question. But before I get there, I have one specific question that I know about your business, and I don't know if this is meant to be a secret or not, but I just like what. So when, and it actually comes back on around the underestimating side of things. Like, so when I met Dan, chatted, we got pretty similar families in terms of like both married, kids born like the same month, basically. It was a bit scary at stages, like, what's going on here? But
too planned.
Yeah, but it was like, my wife's a florist. And I'll tell you, like my immediate, like, this is the first time I met Dan. I'm like, oh, that's nice. Like,
yeah, exactly. That must be nice.
No, seriously. And I don't mean, you know,
no,
I clearly think you are incredibly impressive. Not only business owner, but what you do is amazing. But my first reaction was like, oh, cool, like florist. I'm like, oh, runs a flower shop. And you do.
Yes.
But the flower shop I thought was like, we used to buy flowers in Mount Lawley where I used to live, and it was like this, like, not even a premise. It was buckets on the ground, and you just like pick up a $2 bouquet and take it home to Alex. She likes lilies, so I used to like get the $2 ones. Just be like, here you go, mate. I'm like, oh, cool, that's cool. I was like, where am I going with this? So, but then like, and he's like, oh, yeah, it's Fox and Rabbit. And like, again, I'm a guy, so don't really know floristry. So first time I was like, oh, fuck, like, sorry.
You can't buy $2 lilies at my shop.
No,
that's
yeah.
for sure.
But then, like, you had this huge social following. And again, like, you might not want to talk about this, but I was like, what is going on here? And I just thought it was like a quirky little thing. Didn't, like, overnight a picture got put in it, something, and, like, you went to bed with, like, X amount of followers and you woke up overnight and it was just like...
Yes.
Can you talk about that if you don't want to talk about it?
Yeah, totally. That's fine.
No,
it's
but
not
like,
a secret.
Yeah, great. Like, did that happen?
Yeah. So, but when Instagram first started, again, this is back in the day. But
So good.
in the back in the day before, yeah, I know. Oh my gosh. They used to do this thing where they would like recommend accounts to follow. Of like, these are the top accounts of the week that you should follow based on, and so I was recommended by Instagram at Instagram, but like so I had probably had close to 800-ish followers, something like that, and then within a week I had about 12,000.
Right.
So that was when I was like, oh my God, I've got to turn notifications off because every 5 seconds my phone's buzzing and someone's following me. But, I think, I don't know, we've got 50 something now. So I'm not saying that all of our following happened. Like, I'm not trying to,
No.
I just want to be, yes,
Yeah,
we
also,
got a boost, and yes, no, that's freaking phenomenal.
Yeah, but like if you went from 800 to 12,000, you didn't get 12,000 sales on the day. People are just following you.
No.
People are just following your Instagram.
Yeah, exactly.
It was just a quirky thing.
Mostly not from Australia.
Yeah. No, but it was just like a quirky thing. It was like,
yeah.
like, that's cool. I don't know. It was a random one I had to ask you.
Yeah.
Okay. Putting it all together. As we sit here today and you've had the opportunity to speak about what you're doing, what advice would Beck give to young Beck or a young person, maybe if we use your story, 16, 17 years old, that doesn't know what they're doing, that isn't going very well at school, and then now knowing what you know now, running one, biggest florist in Western Australia, one of the biggest ones in Australia, very different positions. So what would you tell young Beck or young person that might be listening right now? What advice would you give?
I think based on what we've said today, I would say that hard work, discipline, reliability is all just as important, if not sometimes a tiny bit more important than talent. Talent alone only gets you so far. I've seen so many wonderfully talented florists and artists and creatives, and, if you can't turn up to a meeting on time, if you can't reply back to an email within a reasonable, if you can't pick up your phone or reply back to a message, you lose the job, or you lose the opportunity, or someone goes, yeah, they're great, but it's chaos to work with them. So while I might like their skill 5% more than this person's skill, I just need to know the job's going to get done, and it's going to get done on time, and the quality's going to be consistent and all of that kind of stuff. So I would say that as much as it is exciting and feels more glamorous to hone your craft, and yes, that is so important, if you want to be a business owner and just a professional in general, you have to also learn to discipline yourself in the other aspects of professionalism. If you want to have long-term sustainable success.
Good. I think we're done.
Sweet.
I don't know how I finish these usually, but it's been incredibly, I use the word interesting too often, but it's been insightful, highly insightful listening to your story, things I didn't know about. And you probably don't realise how motivating perhaps this could be for someone who is either in your position, wants to be in your position, is, working their way up in a business, or a 16-year-old male or female that wants to run a business. Like, your story is elite, and we honestly, I would keep speaking to you for good few hours. But we can't do that to people. Incredibly impressive. Well done on everything you're doing. Go and check Fox and Rabbit out. They're elite. You're elite. Well done. Did you have fun?
Yeah, it was good. Thank you.
Well done.